Well, I know damn sure I'm gonna get some shit for this one. Like, I'm gonna get a lot of people in the comments telling me hell no and disagreeing with my take here, but genuinely, this matchup is honestly I can't even speak. This matchup is my least favorite ever. This does quite literally nothing for either. And honestly, most of the connections for it are just fun facts. The fight potential is either going to be incredibly one-sided or just incredibly boring. And even though debate shouldn't be a big part of a matchup, of why a matchup is bad, when the debate is as bad as this, then it kind of tilts in one's favor. It kind of tilts in the favor of it being bad. This is like trying to pit Discord from My Little Pony up against the fucking Scarlet King. That's just how absurdly bad it is, and honestly, it kind of disrespects Jason Voorhees as a character. So, I know you all are done with the whole spiel, the whole, yapping and whatever, but let's just get into it, because this is legitimately the worst matchup, I think, either. No, it's definitely not the worst, but, this is just my least favorite for so many reasons. So, let's just get into it. Let's first off start with the connections. Pretty basic place to start out at. So, what are the connections? Well, these are the connections. I can already tell you so many things wrong with this, but let's just start out with the obvious, and that's the connection that isn't here. It's the fact that this matchup doesn't go into Jason's traumatic backstory when he was bullied and drowned. He was literally pushed into water and drowned as a little kid. The camp counselors weren't watching, and he died. And he also watched his mother die. So, this matchup doesn't even go into Jason's traumatic backstory. It goes into quite literally nothing about that. But, hey, maybe the other connections will make up for it, right? Well, no, they don't. They don't really go into either's character. Because both of these characters, their main character writing comes from their core characters, or core writing, which stems from, well, their backstory, and stuff like that. Jason is a big, hulky, big guy who likes to chase down his enemy, who likes to chase down his victims, and has a pretty traumatic backstory, as I told you. Michael Myers is a highly intelligent and highly stealthy, exceptionally strong human who is just pure evil. Do you see the problem here? They don't complement each other at all. But could this work for a contrast matchup? No, because they don't have any similarities contrasting with each other. So there's no core backstory for Michael that goes into Jason. That goes into Jason's traumatic backstory. They don't complement each other's core character themes. They don't go into how they get their victims. They do nothing for each other's character. And this is a big problem already, since if you want a matchup to work initially, usually you would go for do they connect, or do they have any similarities that contrast in an interesting way, which these two don't. They don't do that. But maybe fight potential or debate can save it, since the debate and fight potential is at least considered to be pretty good. Let's start with the debate, since this is easier to dismantle. So, the debate is not that good at all. Like I said, Jason is a immortal... well, I didn't say this, but Jason is an immortal zombie who is big and buff and very hulking. Michael is an exceptionally strong human by average human standards, but is not immortal. This is a big, big problem because Michael has no way to put Jason down permanently. Sure, he could kill Jason and hope that he keeps him down for a few months or trap him, but keep in mind, all the times that Jason was trapped, he either had to get overpowered by another superhuman with telekinesis, or had to be exceptionally outsmarted by someone like Tommy Jarvis. Michael isn't going to be doing the same thing, because, as we see, when Michael outsmarts someone, he's more so doing it in a cunning way. I don't know how else to say this, but he doesn't really trap people. Not in the way that Tommy Jarvis did. What Michael does is that he makes sure that his victims are in a situation where they can't escape, but then goes in for the kill anyway. This just isn't gonna work against Jason because Michael can't hurt him. I'm not kidding. Michael literally cannot hurt Jason. Now, I know that may sound insane, but keep in mind, Jason is the same motherfucker who shrugged off bullets. What the fuck is a knife going to do? And, well, there is one calc that says that Jason survived a fucking nuke, which is insane. I don't know if this was Uber Jason or not, but even if it wasn't, the fact that he can even survive a nuke at all says a lot about how Michael is royally fucked. Jason is also the same guy who fought Freddy, someone who is way stronger and way more powerful than Michael. He even fought Freddy in the dream world, which, by the way, this is the same fight scene where Freddy went down to him and said, "Why won't you die?" And also the novelization says he was trying at some point, like when he dropped the boiler on Jason. It stated that he was actually trying, or using his full power. Well, one of my friends puts that into question, considering how he was kind of fucking around the whole time, but considering that he was questioning how Jason just would not die, it kind of suggests that Freddy was trying a little bit, if not way harder than he usually does against other people. So, let's see. Jason fought horror characters that are way stronger than Michael. He has better feats than Michael. He can't really be harmed by penetration. So what is Michael's win cons? Run. That's literally the only way he is ever going to survive, is if he gets the fuck out of Camp Crystal Lake. Now, let's have a look at Michael's feats to see if he even compares. Well, I'm actually going to just talk about them. I'm not going to actually look at them. Bring scans up on screen. Too lazy for that. So, hold on. Sorry, so, he survived in an exploding building, looks like the only thing I can really bring up. Most of his feats are stealth or IQ feats. Yeah. On top of this, Jason can punch off people's heads and penetrate steel with his machete. Michael himself even acknowledged that he would not be able to survive something like decapitation when he actively avoided it. He also should not be... Also, if he's not going to be able to survive that, what makes you think he's going to survive being impaled by a machete who is wielded by someone who has the force to penetrate steel with it? Yeah, I don't see the debate in this matchup at all. It's not debatable. Jason easily stomps. But what about fight potential? Surely it has some fight potential. Well, there is fight potential, that doesn't mean that it's good. See, the fight potential is that both are sneaking up on each other constantly, or some shit like that, which that wouldn't really work. Sure, Jason can be stealthy, but we mostly see him actively chase down his victims. Meanwhile, Michael is more so the one who would sneak up on them. So Jason can be stealthy, it's just he's just more so to the spectrum that he'll use his stealth to just jump scare or just chase someone down and run them over with his fucking, I don't even know how much he weighs, but it must be insane. He has to at least be like 260 pounds or some shit like that, I'm not gonna lie. So the fight potential, I can't really see the fight potential really working, considering that Jason doesn't really use stealth all that often, at least from what I remember. But even if he did, just a purely stealth fight, that's kind of boring. That is kind of boring. On top of this, if they did get into a actual fight confrontation, it wouldn't really be a fight because, like I said, Jason just massively outstats. This is the same guy who survived half his torso blown off and survived a nuke, apparently. So yeah, I don't really see how Michael can really do anything in the debate. The fight potential is kind of boring no matter how you go with it. If it's just purely stealth, then meh, that'd be kind of boring. And if it's just purely straight hand-to-hand combat, or just straight hands or whatever, then that would also be kind of boring because Jason just stomps in that regard. If you can mix both together, then I guess I can see it working, but I don't really see that really working most of the time. If that were to work, it would be mostly Michael just hitting Jason and then running back into, like, the dark forest or something like that, which Michael doesn't really do. When he attacks someone, he gets committed to the attack. He doesn't attack them once and run off. But yeah. So this fight can't really work without some form of mischaracterization, without, everything I just said. It's just I just cannot see this fight working just at all. I can't see this working. This matchup is just so bad. You mischaracterize Jason, seeing as it doesn't go into his traumatic backstory. You kind of have to mischaracterize them, at least from what I know and remember, in the fight itself to really make it work. I mean, sure, Death Battle did do the matchup, but like, just because Death Battle did the matchup doesn't automatically make it good. So yeah, I don't really see how this matchup works, really. In fact, even in the episode itself, it wasn't really anything like sneaking up or just a full-on confrontation. There were only like 2 full fight scenes, and in one of them, Jason got snuck up on by Michael, and Michael put him down for a couple minutes. Then it swapped to a chase scene between Michael and some dude. Michael chased him down. They got to a graveyard. The dude died to Jason. Then Jason and Michael started fighting again. But yeah. Even in that, episode, I was feeling kind of bored because, like, there's not really anything you can do with the matchup itself. The fight is just. No matter how you slice it, I just don't see the matchup to have good or fun fight potential. But if you do want matchups for both, if you wanna know what my preferred is for both, I can quickly tell you guys. For Michael, I'm gonna say the best for Michael is probably the Smiling Snatcher. They go into the Halloween theme of each other and the stealth theme of each other as well. Um, but yeah, that's really all I really remember. The connections are actually pretty good, though. The From what I remember seeing, and the fight potential actually works. You could have both like sneaking up on each other. You could have some. You could have them outplaying each other. But yeah, the matchup actually works in that regard. But shoot. Um, but if you want my preferred for Jason, I would have to say my preferred for Jason would be Johnny from In a Violent Nature. Now I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, inspiration versus inspired, boring, boring, boring." Yeah, I don't care. It goes into Jason as a character at least. So, meh. What are you gonna do about it? And also, yeah, both can actually, go into each other's more chase down victim and stabby stab approach to killing. Since both are immortal and both do chase down their victims. But, yeah, that's my preferred for both, and that's why this matchup is just so bad. This matchup, it just doesn't work. This doesn't work. It is my least favorite matchup of all time. And so next time, I'm going to talk about my favorite matchup of all time, which I cannot wait for. I cannot wait to talk about that. Um, See you all in the next one. Sorry I haven't, and actually, sorry that I haven't been uploading much recently. I am currently working on some other things right now that will come out eventually. I decided to take a break from my power scaling approach to YouTube, and I'm going to focus more on the stories I want to write and matchups I like and dislike. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna take a break from like the power scaling aspect to my channel. I'm probably gonna make other channels for my writing and matchups, but uh, no, actually they're fine here. Even though you guys may think that my stories are made for power scaling because I'm a power scaler, but should be fine here. As long as I make them good, then I'm sure it's alright. So yeah, I'll see you all next time. Maybe, probably, could be a possibility of modal realism. But see you all later. Bye. Um yeah, I decided to like come back real quick and like the editing. But this matchup, Jason versus Michael, legitimately has me feeling like this.